fuck, where was I going with that? Oh, I was talking about training. All right, we'll edit that part out. I would commit war crimes for a hamburger right now. All right, as of tomorrow, we are 6 weeks out from my first bodybuilding show, and 8 weeks out from my second bodybuilding show. So right now, I'm down to about 210 pounds. The weight cap for my height is 203. So we got a little bit more weight to lose, but we have, time to do it. We're in a pretty good spot right now, at least in terms of making weight and competing. We're in a good place. As far as dieting, energy, mental state, all that stuff, I don't want to say we're in a bad place because I don't want to sell it or frame it the wrong way. It's rough. I'm doing well with it, and I'm managing it better than I thought I would. So we're not in a bad place like, I don't know if I can do this. Just a bad place like everything is miserable all the time. So yeah, I was talking to a couple people recently, asking me what it's like, or talking to some people that compete, that know what it's like. And I'm just going to share some of what I've experienced the last couple months. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. I did actually record a couple of vlogs, and I hated them, so I didn't post them. And I can't post them now because I deleted them, so they're just gone, lost to history. Hopefully I'll actually post this one. I'm trying to get into that mindset in terms of social media content creation, of not letting perfection or not letting perfect be the enemy of good, or whatever the phrase is. Because I'm still pretty new at this, to be honest. I've started about a year ago, but my output has just been so low because my bandwidth is so low. And so being fairly new still, like my videos, they're not going to be great. They're not going to be the quality and presentation of the YouTubers that I watch, which is kind of what I internally compare to. So I do need to do more of these, and I need to actually post them even if they're not the best. But yeah, I mean, calories are low. I'm down to about, I think, just under 1,700 calories a day right now, which for someone of my size is very low. My daily fat intake is right around 40 grams, I think, which is low. My carbs are, we got it, we just situated it to where, depending on what day of training it is, the carb count will be a little different. So it ranges from, I think, like 120 to 160 grams a day. And granted, the lower one is when I'm on a rest day, which I don't really have many of those right now. I'm pretty much training 6 to 7 days a week at this point. The training, I guess we'll segue into that. Being in prep, being in a deep deficit, you're not really going to build muscle. You're kind of just trying to preserve muscle as best you can, because when you're in a deep deficit like this, you're burning fat and you're burning muscle. So the goal with bodybuilding, with the prep phase and the deep cut and getting super lean, which requires a deep deficit, is to minimize muscle loss. But yeah, so as I've shifted to the peaking phase, and I'm getting really lean and ready to step on stage, the training, I don't want to say it's not intense, because again, I don't want to frame it and present it the wrong way. Effort-wise, the intensity has not gone, maybe it's gone up in terms of how much effort and energy am I putting into it. But the intensity in terms of like raw output is lighter, mostly because my energy levels are so low with the decrease in calories. My strength is reduced because of a loss of size. The training can't be, in terms of raw output, it can't be the same intensity as it was before. Which the upside of that is it does allow you to train a bit more frequently. Like some of my workouts are not super long or not super, well, they're taxing in terms of, you know, fatigue and stuff, but they're not like, if I'm getting ready for a strongman show and I'm 4 weeks out and I'm still deadlifting, you know, upper 600s, it's different for bodybuilding. So like the sets and reps, frequency changes, the number of movements can change a little bit. It just depends. I spend a lot of time posing. I'm spending a lot of time with doing cardio. So sometimes the workout has to be split up a little bit. It's just any number of things makes it to where training 7 days a week is just kind of the move right now. So at most I have one rest day a week. And on that day, carbs are a bit lower, because the whole point of carbs at this point in training, other than not going completely insane, the carbs are really just there as whatever fuel you can squeeze out and whatever glycogen you can give to the muscles, you know, to be able to do the workout. So on a rest day, when you're not working out, obviously you don't need as many carbs. But yeah, it's right around 1,700 calories a day. I think my lighter days are in the upper 1,600s. So I mean, it's rough. You know, breakfast is 1 egg. I have a couple, you know, chicken and vegetable meals throughout the day. The protein ice cream, I'm doing that twice a day. Basically, it's just protein shakes, but frozen and ran through the Ninja Creamy. So I say I'm eating ice cream and I'm 6 weeks out, and people are like, bro, you're not doing your cut right. It's like, no, this isn't like I'm going to the store and buying like Ben & Jerry's ice cream. This is, I'm making a protein shake with, you know, 2 scoops of whey, half a banana, you know, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and then some artificial, you know, some stevia, some monk fruit. There was a little dextrose in there for a while, but I've taken that out to help bring calories down. You know, it's putting all that, blending it up into a protein shake and then freezing it for use with the Ninja Creamy. And the Ninja Creamy just takes that protein, that frozen protein shake, and gives it the proper texture. And I gotta say, it is a game changer. I put a video out already. Hopefully you've seen it. If not, you can go watch it after this on how to make that protein ice cream. I have the Ninja Blender, the Ninja Creamy. You know, it comes with the containers that you need. I've got the Legion whey protein, you know, Skippy peanut butter, all that stuff. I detail in the video exactly what I use, how much I use. The macros are all listed out. I got a link to an Amazon storefront where you can buy all of that stuff. Anything that I use in the video, other than like basic utensils, like I didn't put a metal spoon in there. I assume you have that, but anything, you know, kind of unique or distinct to that function that I used in the video, it's all in the store. The xanthan gum, the monk fruit liquid sweetener, the stevia, all that stuff's in there. So watch the video, go try it out, especially if you're trying to cut weight and you have a sweet tooth. It is making this whole thing so much easier. The difficulty that I expected to have with this process is probably the difficulty I would have if I didn't have this in my diet. So I have 2 protein shakes a day. Each one is either a scoop and a half or 2 scoops of whey, depending on the day, depending on what's going on. But each one I turn into ice cream, so I'm eating ice cream twice a day. So meal 3 is ice cream, meal 4 is another, you know, chicken and vegetables, and meal 5 is another ice cream. And that's all the food I'm eating right now. It's not much. But yeah, as far as like cravings and stuff go, if I'm around, like, you know, if I go to an event that serves food, or, you know, if I were for some reason go to a restaurant, the smell of like good, like, you know, freshly made cooked food, that drives me a little bit crazy. I can't be around that stuff right now. And so you know, my social calendar has tightened up. I'm pretty much on lockdown until these 2 shows are done, and then I have a wedding to go to immediately after. So that'll be fun. It'll be nice to kind of let loose a little bit there. But as long as I'm not around like strong food smells like that, I'm doing fine. Cravings are good. And again, I think it's in large part to that Ninja Creamy, like that ice cream, you know, with the half a banana and protein powder. I look forward to that like significantly every day. And so that's kind of where my cravings get funneled into. That's like, you know, satisfying my sweet tooth and keeping my sanity kind of, you know, relatively intact. People have asked about the diet and stuff, and what I've kind of been telling people, the hungriest that I get during the day is about 15 minutes after a meal. And it's not really necessarily intuitive, but the reason is my food is so low, my calories are so low, I'm pretty much hungry 24/7 right now. Like, there is not a part of the day where hunger-wise I feel satisfied. But when I do eat, it's just enough to get my appetite going, but not enough to satisfy anything. So, you know, my appetite, the signals going from my gut to my brain to be like, hey, you know, that control hunger, like, oh, we're getting food, like, let's fucking do this. And then right when we get to that point, the food is over. So my appetite is ramping up. It'd kind of be like if you were really, really hungry, like if you want to imagine it without going through this process. Imagine a day where you don't get to eat all day, like you're at an event or something like that, you're volunteering somewhere, and you just have to go a long time without eating. Imagine how you would feel if you were then given like half of a potato chip, and that was all you got to eat. Like, you're eating food, which should reduce hunger a little bit, even if it's a small amount. Like, it's not going to make you more hungry, but you can imagine you're going to feel a lot hungrier, despite the fact that you've, you know, consumed something. And so that's the feeling I get anytime I eat a major meal right now, or really anytime I eat anything, because, you know, all those meals, like, that's all it is. So that's where things are at with that. That is the hard part, is just the, I'm not having issues with cravings as long as I'm not around like strong food smells, but the volume of food is so low that I'm hungry at all times. There's no time during the day where I don't feel that. So that makes me a little irritable. You know, my patience is a little bit low, which I've experienced with strongman cuts. I've never been this lean, but I've been close. Energy is super low. You know, not just like fatigue, like physical, like muscle fatigue, not just like feeling tired, like, you know, I need to sleep, but also just like going into a workout and having to, you know, provide that energy to do the work is just super low. It's at a point now where I do the first movement of a workout and it feels like I'll do the first set of the first movement for the session, and it feels very similar to how the last set of a hard workout normally feels. Like, I'll finish one working set of the first movement and just feel smoked. And it's like, man, like, where am I going to find the energy to continue this? And that's goes back to what I said about the raw output wise intensity is down. It has to be. If you can match your normal output when you're at this point in a cut, when you're in this much of a deficit, that really just means you're not trying hard normally. Because when you're fully fed and fully carbed up and you're in a surplus, or at least at maintenance calories, or even in a slight deficit, you still have plenty of energy. So if you can match that with no energy, it just means you're not trying hard, you know, in your off season or in your bulking phase. So that's kind of the gist of it. I think I could probably cut this one here. Part of the reason I record these vlogs and then don't post them is because I'm very long-winded, I'm very wordy, and these are kind of off the dome. And so I end up rambling too long and going on too many tangents, and then the video is like 28 minutes long, and there's not really much of a, you know, rhyme or reason to anything. So I'm gonna cut this one here. We're less than 15 minutes. And then if I come up with something that I wanted to talk about here, I'll just move that to next week. I'll try and do a vlog every week. I've got more videos coming now that I'm in the new place. Everything's, you know, clean and organized and stuff like that. You know, I did the Ninja Creamy video. I've got a food processor video coming up with this pepper, you know, jalapeno, garlic, carrots, and, you know, all these different vegetables. This blend of vegetables that I do kind of creates like a sauce that just makes the chicken that I'm eating every day, and pretty much all I'm eating, a lot better. So I'm gonna make a video on that. I got plans for some videos coming up. Addict is just getting over COVID, so I'm doing some of the editing for some of the stuff myself. But we got some stuff coming, some documentation for this, you know, these final weeks of prep. And I'm going to try and do a vlog every week from now until through the second show. And maybe I'll keep doing them after if they end up becoming popular as the channel grows. But definitely through the rest of this prep for these 2 shows, I'll try and do one every week. That's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things. It really helps, especially because the channel is so new and so small. All that stuff is significant. You'll get more videos like this, kind of getting an insight into what a first-time bodybuilding prep looks like, as well as, you know, the more informational stuff that I'll be putting out. I got some more cinematic, like motivational type projects going that I'm, you know, filming shots for. So all that stuff's coming, and you know, the easiest way to see it is to be a subscriber. Again, it helps the channel, helps that stuff, but it also makes it easier for you to find these things. So until the next one.